Hey, welcome back, my beautiful friends. Good to see you here again. So, my family has started playing the game Catan. It's been out for quite a while. We've never played it. We actually never even heard of it until, just probably 3 or 4 weeks ago. So we started playing it and we really enjoyed it. It's kind of a fun game. So in light of that, I decided to build another dice tray specifically for the Catan game. So why don't we go to the video and I'll show you how I did it. Let's roll the dice. All right, here we go. So I just laid out the cards first of all, just to get the spacing down. This styrofoam here is stuff that I cut. This is that quite hard styrofoam that normally would be really pilly and get all those pieces everywhere. This is actually not that way. It's a lot harder. It's really actually quite nice to work with. So that's what I'm going to be using to do the card holder. So this is a 2-for-1 kind of bonus video here. So this card holder, I'm just slicing up some of this foam, putting it together. It's actually a really simple design. Basically enclosing the cards, making a border for the cards. That's really all there is to it. Using some hot glue, some pre-cut pieces of styrofoam, gluing it together, and literally that is about it. As you can see there, it's coming together almost kind of like a little swimming pool or a serving tray or whatever you want to call it. So that's all I did, was just enclosed it, and then I'm putting the dividers in, just thin strips of foam again, gluing those, hot gluing those into the structure there, into the tray, and making sure it's nice and secure. And there you can see it, the one divider there, and I used a card just to make sure it will be nice and loose, and there it is. All the pieces glued up. And so the next thing that I did, because it was going to be hard to get your finger in there and grab out the card, so just cut some thumb holes here in the very front of the card holder. And that's pretty much the structure. That's pretty much it for the build on this thing. Nice and simple and easy. But you see, this is a little bit bendy. It's not very hard, solid, but I figured that the Mod Podge and black paint would make that a lot more stiff, and thankfully it did do that. So that was cool. So moving on to the actual dice tray itself, just again more of that foam that I put together, making a very basic square and gluing it all together. Nothing really too crazy. And there's pretty much the structure right there. So I cut a piece of cardboard, and that is going to be the bottom. That is going to be the actual surface that we roll the dice on, and just glued that down as well. Nice and simple. I'm trying to use a little bit more recycled materials. I think that's going to be key going forward for me anyway. So here we go. I really didn't know what to do on the sides of this tray, and just looking at the Catan box and the cards itself and the different things that are in the game basically helped me to figure out what to put on the sides here. So this, I'm just going to put some grassy hills where the sheep would be would be roaming around, and I had 3D printed a few sheep to put on this hill. Unbeknownst to me, there was a small cut in the filament of my resin tray, so it had leaked and caused a huge mess. So I've got another sheet ordered, and unfortunately for this project, I don't have any 3D printed sheep, so that's okay. So moving on, went to work with bricks. There's a lot of brick in this game, Catan, so I built a brick structure, and on the one side there, and then on this side, basically like a rummaged pile of bricks just randomly thrown together. I figured that'd be kind of cool to put beside the pyramid of bricks. And that was just, I had some leftover Mod Podge and black paint, so I just used that to glue it down. Hey everybody, if you're enjoying this video, please do me a favor. Hit the like and subscribe button. It would mean the world to me. Let's go back to the video. So I put that aside and started on some grass tufts for the one side of the tray, the fence side. I figured that if I put some grass tufts kind of randomly on the fence, it would look a little bit more natural, look a little more cool. So basically, just did the technique from Dinky Dioramas. She has a great video on how to do this. I'll link it below. So you just take the bristles of a paintbrush, you glue them together, dab of glue, and after that is dried, I used hot glue so it was ready right away. And you just take your razor and you brush that out so it becomes nice and fluffy and it looks real. So that's what I did with that. And here is some Resin Rocks. On another project I used some resin and I had a fair amount of resin left over. So I figured whatever, I'll just pour it into my rock molds and one day I'll use them, and here it is, there we go. So that's what I did for that side, some Resin Rocks. And then I moved on to the fence. And this is just some dollar store sticks. I think they're signs. Little signs that you put in, I don't know, maybe a garden or something like that. So cut those up and just fashioned them into a fence, glued them together. So after that was pretty much all done, went to work with the black paint and Mod Podge, make everything a little more stiff because this is going to be used. It's going to be part of our game that we actually use. So wanted to make sure everything was stiff, and I did the same thing here with the card holder as well. So after that was all dried, went to work doing some paint. I figured the bricks gotta be a red, of course. They look great in red, so did kind of a red paint and mixed a tiny bit of black paint in there just to give it a little bit more of a dulled red color. And then went on to paint, the rest of the tray. So the hill's gonna be green. I want that underneath again, just so that when I put the turf on there, if there's anything that shows through, I want it to be green underneath so that it looks pretty much natural. So there it is, a little bit of tacky glue, and then I put on some flocking. Now this I used really fine flocking underneath, put it through the sieve, and when I was done, didn't really quite like it. So as you'll see, I add some other flocking as well. So here's painting the fence boards, nice brown color after some black wash. You know the deal, it's gonna look really cool. And then I did a dry brush with kind of a cream color on the fence there. So there's my tufts, grass tufts, dipping them in glue and randomly putting them around the fence just to kind of make it look a little natural, have a little bit of fun with this project. And as you can see, they kind of looked pretty cool. I was actually really happy with the way these grass tufts turn out. There you can see the grass tufts. I love those. Those look pretty cool. I'll get better at doing them too, so that'll be pretty cool in the future. So added a little bit more glue on top of that flocking. Like I said, I really wasn't happy with it. It looked too sterile. So I added some other flocking on the fence side, just in places. I didn't do the whole thing. I just wanted it to be kind of a patchwork under the fence. And then I used some isopropyl alcohol and some thinned down PVA glue just to make sure that all of that flocking is going to be stuck there, it's going to stay there, and it's not going to be flaking off when we're rolling the dice or moving around the dice tray. So then moved on to the black wash, and this is, again, you know the deal, this is going to make this look really good. Getting into all the crevices and making it look like it has depth. And then a little bit of a dry brush, and that's pretty much it, guys. Here's the final project. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you again.